I think so much of the role of developer is just being patient, uh, working through all your due diligence process, working with your locality. If something isn't immediately available, like, okay, so how can we make this happen? So, maybe a value add example would be a small building that had a ground floor. It was permitted in the existing zoning for ground floor commercial use. But when that particular zoning ordinance had been passed, the only ground floor uses that were permitted were things like it's a barber or a restaurant or like a convenience store, very personal service sort of oriented uses. But for me, I looked around at my neighborhood, I looked at my own situations of people that I knew, and I knew that another really important use within a largely residential neighborhood was office space. And so that hadn't been written into the zoning ordinance, and so we had to go through a special use permit process. But even through that process, talking with the zoning administrator, he acknowledged that, they needed to update their zoning ordinance. And so something that, 2 years ago, I went through a special use permit process, actually ended up getting built into an update of the zoning ordinance. And so now, if somebody wants to do what I did 2 years ago, there's a lot less hoops for them to jump through because it's responding to the current needs on the ground of that particular neighborhood.